Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 7 and round 8 of the Forza Motorsport 6 Online Racing League Scirocco Cup guys, and here today for Road Atlanta. Now this track probably actually one of my personal favourites on Forza Motorsport 6 generally, and probably once again one of my favourites on this track calendar. You know, overall a lot of the tracks I'm not a particular fan of, so it's quite nice to obviously come on like this where it is very much a track that I do enjoy. But as always guys, I would obviously leaving you on board with my quickest lap in qualifying. You know, obviously this track on the whole probably one of the only ones where I am fairly competitive. Obviously you've got the huge long back straight, and obviously in these cars no manual with clutch means I probably lose a fair distance. Obviously we'll have to find out when we get into the races how much time I do lose down the straights. But you know, in the first and second sector, you know, I felt quite quick. You know, this track really does sort of play to my taste. You know, you get to hop over the curbs quite a bit, which is always, you know, always quite fun. It's obviously quite risky as well, usually there, but you can just see ahead of me my teammate EBR Hurricane just run a little bit wide over the grass there. You know, we've got 4 of us once again back in the car for this race. You know, we've got obviously, unfortunately Forcella once again couldn't race. Obviously, you know, it's getting to that time of year. A lot of people have got exams, so unfortunately for him, he was out revising that evening, which meant he couldn't race. But coming down this long back straight, as you can see, I'm obviously not losing too much time to Kieran, obviously after he ruined his run. But now down into the final chicane on this fast lap, I trim the apex to the first part nicely. I get all 4 wheels well over the curb on the second part there, which is really what you want to do to try and maximise your time. And coming down the bottom of the hill to the end of the lap, I think it's going to be just under 1 minute 30 here. It's going to be a 1 minute 29.937 there. Very, very happy with that lap overall in the area. And now looking on to the grid, we're actually in B lobby for this race, and just having to scroll down the grid there, we've got Prod Forza 4 AMG once again there. And actually JSR Craviator massively ruined his qualifying there. Obviously a big surprise to obviously see him down in B lobby here. Obviously he's one of the Forza RC finalists for those of you that do know the Forza scene quite well. But in my lobby we had myself and EVR Hurricane. We had Taylor up in A lobby, and then unfortunately Kai down in C lobby once again there. Which obviously he was not very happy with that once again. He just made a few mistakes on his qualifying runs. But, you know, I was feeling quite confident on this grid. You know, P4 in my lobby. You know, this track I really felt quite confident around. You know, a lot of drivers were struggling for consistency around this circuit. You know, it was actually one that really favoured me quite nicely, guys. But, you know, obviously we'll have to wait and see how well it goes, because, you know, the luck really hasn't been on my side so far this season, guys. But I think we're going to go at 3 minutes for this first race. You know, the main aim was really just to keep it clean on the start. You know, I'd like to run, you know, a nice clean first race, and hopefully, you know, have a nice fight through the field on the second race, guys. We are going to be going at 3 minutes now, and as you can see, the lights out and away we go there. And actually off to a fairly mediocre start there. Kieran behind me, obviously with that clutch, able to get off to a very, very good start. I'm pretty certain D-Tech also running clutch, but he bogged down slightly there, and Kieran's going to be able to look down his inside. I'm just going to try and keep it nice and clean on the outside there, but lose the back end ever so slightly, obviously with the cold tyres there, which means I'm not able to get a run on Prod D-Tech up on the top of the hill there, guys. But coming obviously into this first sector, you know, on lap 1 you want to just take it clean, you know, want to take it a little bit slow. As you can see, a cone there flying over the top of my car. I think that was Kieran that sent that flying there. But coming through down the hill, as you can see, everyone's getting a little bit out of shape here. And this was one of the corners where I seem to make up a lot of time on people. You know, a lot of people will have to double brake into that corner, and I was usually fairly consistent with just single braking down into that zone there. So, you know, I was feeling confident as well, especially on these opening laps. You know, it's a good chance to make overtakes. As you can see, coming into this double right-hander, we're actually going to go down the inside of D-Tech there, try and make the position up. We do make a tiny bit of contact there, which unfortunately does ruin my run there on the exit of the corner. But this is the first test to see how much time we are going to lose down the straight. So you can just see D-Tech absolutely pulling away. Obviously, I did get a fairly poor run out of the corner there, as we've now got Rhino as well. I think, you know, he's looking feisty once again. You know, we had a little bit of good action racing with him last week as well. So, you know, hopefully, you know, he's a fairly clean driver as well, which is always nice. You know, you have a lot more confidence racing the cleaner drivers. But down into the chicane here, we do try and cut him off down the inside there. And we do hold on to 6th place here on this first lap. You can just see they're going too wide just ahead of me there. And Kieran's actually been pushed out wide on the grass on the exit of the corner. So we're going to be going side by side into the final corner. And I just take too much curb, bounce over it there, and just about slotting ahead of him. That was incredibly, incredibly close. And obviously sending it, I do not want to be repeated later on. But Rhino now trying to look down the inside, but I do manage to hold it later on the brakes there. And obviously you don't really need to worry about someone going down the inside into turn 1, because obviously if you can hold it side by side there. Usually they have to back out into turn 3, as obviously there is only one real line you can take through turn 3. They don't want to be going side by side there, but D-Tech getting very, very loose on the exit of that corner. You know, I thought about trying to line him up for a move, but there was just no opening for myself there, unfortunately. Just see into the next corner, having to brake because he was braking there. Not really that I wanted to, and just see on the exit of the corner there, we do get down to a very, very good run, and we're going to have to be trying to have a look around the outside into the double right hand here. Obviously very, very unconventional to see a move come out over here, but you can just see he gets caught on the grass there on the inside, nudges me wide on the exit. That was still side by side, and unfortunately he gets a tap from behind, and that sends me absolutely out over the gravel there. I'm just trying to avoid the walls, and unfortunately for me, that is not going to work out there, because you see I've been, once again, you know, I've been punted wide. You can see it's massively ruined Rhino's race as well, that we don't even know. I'm not too sure still who actually pushed him wide, pushed him obviously into me there. You know, I think that really cost all three of us that. I think D-Tech actually got quite well away with it. You could just see as well, though, TG Steel, he's going down the inside there, and obviously, you know, we're leaking positions like a sieve. As Solberg there goes absolutely into everyone there. I'm just going to try and take evasive action from everyone there, giving Rhino a little bit of a push through the corner there, but no idea what Solberg was doing, breaking that late into the corner there. But unfortunately for me, that leaves me down in P11 at this moment in time during this race there, guys. You know, it's not looking good for me at the moment in this race. And by the end of lap 11, you know, nothing had really happened. We moved up one position from someone I think they disconnected earlier on in the race there. We've got a good little battle going on between Solberg and TG Steel just ahead of me here. So, you know, hopefully if those two come to blows on this final lap, I could try and make it work for myself here, guys. But TG Steel does break a little bit earlier. I've just realised it's actually not TG, it's TJ there. I can only apologise. As we just get caught on the back of him there onto the final back straight. Obviously, there was very little chance that I'd be able to get a good run anyway. And that has basically just guaranteed that I will not be able to get a good run down this long back straight here. But we've got over like a 2,000 feet gap behind me here, if I can read correctly. And there's no chance you're not going to lose any more positions there. So I think it might have actually been Rhino that did either crash out or DC from that first race there, guys. But just see TJ, is trying to have a look down the inside of Solberg there, but he just shuts the door on him there. I just not concentrating, absolutely cut that final chicane. I can only apologise for that, but obviously it's going to give me no help whatsoever there. So I'm going to finish down in P10 in that first race there. Not exactly what I wanted to come through, but I do come through in style there, sideways over the line. And that is going to leave me up in a very, very strong position for this second round of the night there. And, you know, maybe I could try and fight for the win. As you could just see, the guys behind me will be the guys that will be starting ahead of me in race 2 here. So, you know, I was feeling quite confident with that. And, you know, still 10th place in B. There'll be a fairly decent haul of points here. Because obviously I am looking at the long run in this title, guys. We can just see we are going to be starting the second race at 3 minutes 20, guys. Just see it's lights out and away we go. Then we actually get off to a fairly decent start that time. We're actually going to go straight over to the inside there. You know, that was my intent down towards turn 1 there. TJ actually getting right behind me there. Obviously with that manual clutch, able to get a better run down towards turn 1 there. But I go down the inside, you know, should be able to hold it fairly nicely there. He's got a very, very brightly coloured car there. We're going to try and hang him out to dry on the exit there of turn 1. Are we going to be able to try and squeeze him out through turn 2 there? He does get over the grass, you know. I'm trying to be a bit forceful there, as I don't want to have to go too wide through that fast chicane there. You know, we're holding on to P4 at this moment in time, guys. You know, hopefully, you know, this could be working out quite well for myself. You know, I've got 3 drivers ahead of me. I think Rhino, he didn't actually get to start near the front as he DC'd from race 1, which means he starts right at the very back there. And I think these 3 guys, I'd like to think, you know, that I am quicker than, you know, some of these guys are a little bit clumsy as well. So now hopefully I can try and make the positions a little bit easier for myself in this second race. So I think the main guy that I was really worrying about was Prod D-Tech. Obviously, he out-qualified me in race 1 there. But, you know, I felt quicker than him whilst we were behind him in the early phases of that first race. You know, obviously we were really hassling him at the very start. So, you know, hopefully, you know, we could see a repeat of that in the second race. Obviously, we've got 2 guys, though, that are between me and him there. So, you know, hopefully we can try and pass those 2 as well very, very quickly. You know, maybe if they start fighting as well, we can try and make the position work for myself. Obviously, we can't discount the guys behind me as well. You know, obviously, we've got a few incredibly quick drivers having to fight their way all the way through the field in this second race. So, you know, hopefully they won't be able to get as quickly through. So, you know, we could probably, you know, try and make it a little bit easier for myself. But you can just see coming into the final corner there, one of the guys ahead of me gets incredibly loose. They both go into the wall there, and I'm able to just go right between them. ACR Devon and Chuck there, who do have a massive incident between those 2 there. I think Chuck's basically out of the race there. And I'm into P2 I go now. And really, for me, that was the only action that happened in this second race up until basically the final lap of this race, where I was basically just slowly closing down Prod D-Tech here. You know, hopefully, onto this final lap, I could have a little bit of a good battle with him. You know, I felt quicker than him at this moment in time, so maybe, you know, I could get my first victory in this Scirocco Cup, if I can actually remember the right name of the cars here, guys. You know, onto the final lap we go, and hopefully we could line him up for a very, very nice move on this final lap. You know, really just crush his dreams of a win in this night. You know, down in towards turn 1 though, into the braking zone. He brakes so early into what I was expecting him to there. Get right on his gearbox there and through the exit of turn 1. You know, he doesn't maximise the exit as well there. You know, slowing fast out around that first corner is possible. You can just see into the next chicane there. I do take the curbs. Not particularly nice there. You know, you can run quite a nice smooth run there. But this is really where I made up all my time on D-Tech up to this point. You know, he brakes so early down into that corner there. He was one of the double breakers there, but he runs massively wide over the curbs, which at that moment in time was looking like it basically saved his race there. You know, he's got such a poor run through the corner, but obviously using all the track and much more there, you know, he was able to capitalise on that. And unfortunately for me, obviously, unless he knobs up his run down this long back straight, it's looking very, very unlikely that I am able to get a move on him. But, you know, we're going to try it anyway. I'm going to try and get in the slipstream here. You can just see already he's slowly but surely pulling away from me down this long back straight. You know, it's looking, obviously, final lap of the race. You know, I'd much rather, you know, take home the points for P2 in this race, you know, than risk P1. Obviously, Forza, though, you know, it's a lot more, you're going to have a lot more bumper-to-bumper racing as well, though, which is obviously a nice change from Formula 1, where obviously, you know, you have to be very delicate with each other. But down into the final chicane we go, as I accidentally trim it once again there. And unfortunately for me, we're not going to be able to get past D-Tech there. He did very, very well to hold on to the lead of the race there. Obviously, you know, I was quite close behind him, but obviously he didn't crack under the pressure there. So P2 in the second race of the night thereafter. Obviously, a very, very uneventful race overall for myself there, guys. And obviously, I will leave you now with the standings as well from the second race of the night. And, you know, it felt quite good, you know, back in B-Lobby as well, you know, able to fight for wins, especially in B-Lobby, you know, coming the second half of the season where a lot of the driver interest really dies down, you know, this could really go quite well for me, you know. And I think overall in the standings now, I'm into P22, because then obviously we've already had a drop race this season. Now, I'd like to aim for, I think, P15 overall in the standings. I'd like to aim for there, guys. We can just see the final standings from the second race of the evening there, guys. Very, very happy, you know, with two. Obviously, you know, B-Lobby especially, you know, obviously good to get some good haul of points on the board there, obviously, after the C-Lobby disappointment last week. You know, it's nice that we're not having races, you know, where we get taken out as much. But hopefully, you know, you guys have enjoyed this video. Do not forget to like, subscribe if you are new around here, guys. And I will see you next time.
So promise that you'll catch me.